We are celebrating the holdings of the archives. And in the archives, we have 100 million permanent records going back to about 1639. And those records take many different shapes and sizes. And we have a lot of photographs, a lot of maps, but we also have some odd things. Like, for instance, we've got these cookbooks. And the cookbooks represent evidence of who we are. And this exactly what it is evidence, as all their archival holdings are. This is kind of a neat way to talk about what records mean and what is a record. It's not all the proclamation declaring war. I mean, that's obviously an important public record. It's not the Declaration of Independence. That's what we sometimes think of as government records. But government records tell a lot of stories. When you think about what was happening in Maine in the 1930s with the Depression and how severe an impact it had on farming and the decline of farms at such a rapid rate, it makes perfect sense that the government would find ways to try to intervene in that and try to remind people why this is important, why they should utilize these resources that are right there available to them, and make them more broadly available to visitors, tourists, out-of-staters beyond Maine. A big reason why I wanted to platform this recipe in particular, the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives in the 1890s was a congressman from Portland, a guy named Thomas Brackett Reed, who reformed the rules of procedure that Congress used. They still use those procedures today. And he wrote in his diary how much he loved fish balls. And people talk about their grandmothers making fish balls. The elements of this, and I have it set up on the table over there, it's salt cod and potatoes, mostly. Those are the two primary ingredients here. This is what your mother used, in case you were wondering what it is. And this kitchen that we're using today, right here in Bangor, actually in Veazie, is the RM Flagg kitchen, where they host the kitchen cooking school. I've actually been one of the guest cooks here in the past. It's a lot of fun. Several times a month they do this. So we're going to make a little sauce with this too. The recipe that we're deriving all this from basically they call it an egg sauce. And an egg sauce in this recipe is basically nothing more than a bechamel, which is just thickened milk is all it is. What you do is you get your potatoes and your salt cod, and the salt cod comes packaged like this. It's about, you can buy this actually in your local grocery store. It costs probably $10, $15, depending where you get it. And you have your average potatoes, maybe half a dozen of these, and you peel them, and you slice. I sliced mine, and I boil them. I boil them for about 15 minutes till the potatoes are soft. The fish, you have to kind of let it soak for a bit. You soak it in warm water, get all the salt out of it. It is very, very salty. In fact, I think the nutritional component of the sodium intake is about 150% of your daily allowance. So when you get done soaking your cod, it kind of looks like this. Just looks like a piece of fish. It's not quite so white on the plate. Decoration. This is basically how we make a bechamel. Now, the recipe just calls for these two things, basically the roux and the milk. However, that's incredibly boring. So we're going to do a little bit of jazz to it. Jazz it just a little bit. black pepper, and just a hint of nutmeg. And that will thicken. So when you take your potatoes and your cod and you boil it together and then you mash it, and you can mash that either in a food processor or in a mixer, all of which are available here at the store if you want to get one. And then you will add in some melted butter and just a couple eggs, and that's basically it. You're ready to go. And it kind of comes out looking like this as a finished product. And you just take that and you can form it into a ball, like that. And when you take those and you roll them in flour, and I'll show you how that's done here in a second. This is what you get. You get a pre-made fish ball. So you take a little bit of flour, and I'll add some pepper to it. Again, give it a little zip. I like to have a little bit of zip in your food. So you take just a little bit of this and pinch it off. Just roll it around in that. And that's all there is to it. And you can make these ahead, a day or two ahead. This stuff will build up fast on you. So it's never a bad idea to put a little water in your hands so it doesn't stick to you. You just take that, just like that. And there you go. So then, what this calls for is a little bit of chopped egg. There's an egg in there. And because, again, because I can't leave it alone, I'm going to add something else. I'm going to add a little cheese. So, just so we stay authentic on this, what I'm going to do is break that into two pieces. So you can have it with the cheese and without. And we are just about ready to go. So we have our sauces done. We have our fish balls prepped. And this likes the oil to be very, very hot. But it does heat up pretty well on its own as it goes. Be a little bit careful with this type of fat because it can overheat very quickly. So we'll do a few at a time. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes to cook these. Just like that. So this is all there is to it. You fry some fish balls. So, and a little chopped parsley. And there you have it, right there. Fish balls.